Hello gamers, my name is KK and today we are god boosting Gwendolyn, Isop's favorite hero, and to be honest, Gwendolyn did not disappoint. So to see the results on how good she is, watch till the end, you will not regret it. But first, press the like and subscribe right now so that we can get over this quickly and begin the freaking video. Okay guys, so in this series we are god boosting the heroes and we have the set of rules we need to abide by to have the fair competition between the heroes. At the end of this series I'm gonna make the video, short video comparison for all of the heroes, and it's gonna be pretty fun. But for now, the rules how we judge the heroes. First, we have 120 rounds, and during these rounds, we have 8.26 million pops. The evaluation, how good the hero is how many out of these pops was the hero able to deal. So we will have a few other towers that also deal pops and they might steal those. But if the hero can deal as many pops as possible, he wins. For example, Churchill has already dealt 7.95 or 7.9 million pops out of 8.26, so very good number. Adora did 7.6 or 6.5. Then the Sauda and the Quincy were able to deal 6.6 million. Etienne dealt around 6 million. Brickle dealt 4.25 million. So the range is pretty big, but let's see how good will the Gwen be able to tackle those blimps and balloons overall. Gwen, generally speaking, is a pretty solid hero. She has high DPS, relatively high DPS. She has very useful abilities, and I personally had very high hopes for this hero because she's just good, what can I say? Okay, now about the rules. We are allowed to use any no DPS towers. So farms, villages, we can use overclock if it's out of range of the balloons. We can use sabotage with the same rule. We can use any support abilities that don't deal damage. Next, we can use the Permabrew Alchemist. Also, we are allowed to have two stunning towers. First is Perma Glue 0 to 5. The second one is the Ice Tower 0 to 5. These are necessary in order to save our heroes' butts, because almost no heroes can survive without any support, and the Gwen is no exception. So I'm pretty sure only Churchill can do this. So it's not going to be a fair competition, which is why we are doing it this way. So usually I will be farming like this with the marketplaces because we don't need that much money and chill pretty much. And also in this series I'm telling you one of my 1,000,001 stories about the travels. I've traveled quite a lot in my life and I always have some good stories in my, how to call it, background, let's call it this way. So today I'm gonna tell you the story about Thailand. Not the crazy story about the transgender females, etc., but I saw them when I was there, but something different. Today I wanna tell you about probably one of the most unique natures in the world, the nature of Thailand. So I was in Thailand, let me count, not so long ago, probably 4 years ago, around that time. And it was pretty amazing trip, one of the most interesting, diverse and cool countries overall I've ever seen in my life. Also one of the venues that you must visit once in your lifetime. So first I'm gonna tell you about the nature, and I might gonna make the second part about Thailand, where I speak about the cities and the culture, etc. So, but what about the nature? When I was in the, let me see, I'm pretty sure it was Pattaya. So in the Pattaya, there are some trips which you can take, like the boat trips, and you pay reasonable fee and you get the, let me think, okay, so it's the boat trip during all day, and you are riding the boat with other people, or if you're rich you can rent the boat for yourself, and you are observing the islands. But look, the thing about these islands, they look like the pillars, not like the islands themselves. So just imagine, you are in the ocean, I'm pretty sure it is Indian Ocean. So you are in the Indian Ocean and you look at the islands, and they are at least 50 meters high. They have some grass and trees, etc. on top, but on the sides is just the freaking cliff. And these are the islands. They look, I would say, in the shape of the water drop. So as you might imagine, water washes the stones at the bottom of these islands, and because with the time water is able to cut the rock. For those who didn't know, water, with the constant water flow around the rock, it will slowly get crushed and deteriorate. But because this is how water and rock works, on the microscopic level, water slowly gets a few molecules over the rock wall, and day by day, year by year, it takes these rocks away. And after a certain time, these islands will collapse because water will cut the basement of this island, and it will not be able to hold the weight at some point. But for now, they are in the middle stage. So basically, the base of these islands is already pretty cut down, but it is still sturdy enough to keep the weight of these islands. And now we get pretty much the wonder of the nature, where it's a very unique sight. You are looking at these islands and you think, okay, how the fuck does this happen? What's wrong with the nature? How? Why? And only then, when you realize that these islands are millions and millions years old, you start to realize that it's a slow, meticulous, and very unorthodox process of cutting the rock with the ocean water. And once upon a time, these islands were the actual islands, like the islands we are used to think of when we imagine island from this world. So just the land surrounded by the ocean or the sea. But here, the water level just went down by multiple meters, and because of this, the ground was, like, let's say, taken away. And now with the current water level worldwide, we observe these miracles, because back in the day the water level was much higher in the oceans, and these were just the regular islands. But now the water level is much lower than it used to be, and this is, by the way, the reason why we are able to inhabit so many continents. Because back in the day, I'm not sure about the specific days, but this was like tens and hundreds of millions years ago, the water covered most of the land. So it was like, if today we have same thing, I don't remember the specific numbers, assume that there is like 15% of the total surface of the world is the ground. Back then it was like 0.5%, so much less ground. Okay, so what about these islands? Also, interesting thing that monkeys live on them. It's the wild monkeys, really. Monkeys are a pretty fascinating thing. Before visiting the Thailand, I never saw the monkeys in the wild, because in my region they just don't live. But there, I'm pretty sure for the Thailand and Thai people, monkeys are the casual thing to observe. But the interesting thing is, so first it was the unexpected thing that monkeys can swim, and they can swim pretty well. They also climb these insane cliffs to get to the top and to eat some fruits that grow on the trees at the top. Pretty interesting stuff. Next, it was pretty funny to observe. Like, look, when we are on the trips like this, tourist guides always tell us, always, do not feed the monkeys, do not feed the wild animals. And there are a few reasons why we shouldn't do this. People think that these monkeys are interested in the food, but it is true. However, monkeys and other wild animals are instinct driven. If you feed it, it will find out, okay, how instincts and how brains of these animals work. If you feed it once, they build up the expectation that you will feed it again, and it is very bad for you. Because mainly not for you, because for example, if you give like monkeys some meat or the bun or something like that, it's alright. But what about the next people? These monkeys will become aggressive next time if you don't feed them. If the other tourists don't feed them, they might bite you, they might attack you. And monkeys are fucking smart animals. They will gang on you and they can rob you, they can bite you, they can even kill you. And they attack in groups. So by feeding the wild animal, you put the other people in danger. And the fucking dumb twats that were on the ship with me, they did not understand this. And guess what happened? Probably you guessed, because we had the stop near one of the islands, one of the bigger ones, which still had the tiny beach on which there were a lot of wild monkeys. And our people, and funny enough, it were the Russian tourists. They, because I'm pretty sure you know that Russian tourists are famous for being dumb, drunk, and very annoying. It was just the case. But they were not drunk, but they were just dumb. So they tried to feed the monkeys, and the monkey, I wouldn't say like, I don't really remember, to be honest. I'm pretty sure the monkey, so the woman gave the monkey the food. Pretty sure it was like the loaf of a bread. She get it, and she expected the monkey to eat from her hand. How dumb is that? Monkey is the smart animal. It will just take the food and eat it in the safe place. And this is just what happened. And guess what next? Monkey, not only did it try to take the bread, the woman did not give the bread. So she expected the monkey to eat from the hand. So the monkey is reasonable. Monkey bit her hand so that she doesn't take the bread she offered and ran away. Okay, seems like fair, not that scary, because monkeys don't have poison or anything. But you forget one thing. If monkey bites you, you need to make a lot of take in a lot of injections, vaccines, and stuff in order to survive, because these are the wild animals. And if you have the contamination of your blood, it might be lethal to you. Most of these people, including myself, we are not the locals, and we are not used to this climate, this food, and these animals. For example, if the local animal from your area where you are around bit you, you have much higher chances of surviving, because your ancestors lived in this land, and of course they were bit by these animals, and you might have the antibodies to counter their saliva, which is very, very contagious. You might know that most of the animals have very bad saliva, because it's, even if you try, for example, to smell the smell of the mouth of the horse. Horse is the relatively domestic animal, and horses are relatively clean animals. Still, they stink like shit. Imagine the wild animal which eats anything that it can get access to, not like the horses which are fed the specific diet. And do you really think that it is safe? Of course not. And these people had to pay a lot of money, they had to pay for the treatment, etc., etc. And just for one fucking dumb decision of first feeding the monkey, and second not giving the monkey the food. You know what, kids? learn stuff in school, fucking study, don't be dumb fucks like these people. And they were adults, grown up adults in their 30s. They were relatively wealthy and they were still this dumb. Never be dumb, because if you are dumb, regardless of how rich, how influential, how powerful you may be, you will still die like a fucking loser. So make sure you have a good education and don't be dumb. That's the gist of today's story, because just the thought of it makes me tilted. How the fuck you need to be as stupid in order to not to listen to the experienced guy who lives in this country like for many years, who knows the customs, knows the rules, and knows how the animals behave? Okay, but other than these dumb twats, it was very good experience, very beautiful, unique. But the thing is, with these islands, it is very difficult for you to actually photograph them. So you can do this with the drones. With the drones, video and photo, it should be pretty beautiful, but with the regular phones or cameras from the boat, it's not that beautiful. So you need to see it with your own eyes. I'm pretty sure you realize that there are a lot of wonders of the nature in the world that you cannot accurately represent using the photos or videos. This is one of these things where you need to look for it yourself, and you need to see if it's good for you or not. Okay, I have so many good memories with this. Oh, okay, one more story from this trip. We had the boat, and the boat had 3 floors. And I was very brave at the time, I'm still is, and I really like to jump from the high height from the boats into the water. So, and imagine how happy was I when I found out that we are gonna stop and we will be able to jump. So first I tried the second floor, because the first floor was the kindergarten. It was like 2 meters. The second floor was slightly higher, I would say 5 meters or so. It was pretty alright. And the third floor was around 8 to 10 meters, and this is what I really liked. It is pretty funny, maybe a little bit childish, but very cool. If you ask me, to jump from these high altitudes and to chill pretty much. Very interesting stuff. We were able to jump, we were able to swim, and it was a wonderful trip overall. Okay, this is the part 1 done. And as for the Gwendolyn, we almost killed every round, so it's round 120, almost at the end. And Gwendolyn is strong, but she struggled with the bets quite a bit, as I could have seen. 5.56 million pops. Not bad. Slightly worse than ATM, but still better than the worst heroes. I expected Gwen to get at least like 6 million or so, but still more than enough to be a competent hero in the mid to late game. Okay guys, tell me if you have been to Thailand, tell me if you like the stories, what story do you want to hear next. Press the like or dislike button depending on what you think about this video, subscribe now, and press the bell notifications icon down below, because you don't want to miss the next 2 videos ever. See you in the next one.